Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to talk about me moving into our new house. I've mentioned in some previous episodes that we moved, and today we're going to talk about that. My mom and stepdad were originally looking at building a house out in the country. I don't know if they'd purchased the land, but there was a parcel of land that we were going out to and kind of clearing out trees and some other stuff. They had a home building architect guy come over to the house, and that was the first time I ever saw blueprints. He had designed this house. Very much out in the country, like very, very rural, but it was like a private drive type of thing, like a little small community of homes. But I mean, out in the middle of nowhere, it'd take you like 20 minutes just to get to civilization. And that ended up falling through, and we ended up moving into this house that was a part of this small little housing development. The guy that built our house, he owned all this land. He became a home builder and he started building homes. So there's like this little tiny development. And the house that we moved into was the house that he built for himself, and for whatever reason, he never moved into it, and he built an even bigger house down the street. So we move into this new house, and that means I moved into a new school district. And this was the first time that I started a new school district where I didn't know anyone. When I transferred into the school district that Chris was in, I ended up in Chris's homeroom. So I start there, and hey, there's Chris. I recognize him from riding in that van talking about Masters of the Universe figures. So I already had a friend, and I don't know, like kids in kindergarten just seem more friendly, more open to conversation. Like maybe I was nervous, but it must have passed pretty quick because I made new friends. But it was definitely different starting at this new school. This new school district served rural communities. So they had one campus, and all their buildings were on this one campus, and all the students would get bussed in from all these small rural towns, and so all these kids knew each other. I start there as a sixth grader, and the majority of my classmates had already been going to school kindergarten through fifth grade, and it became very apparent that I was a new kid in town because everybody's staring at me. And the one thing that helped was like my brother was like the shoe guy. Like he wanted the nice shoes. He wanted Nike Airs or whatever. And eventually he would get Jordans and Shaqs and whatnot. But I never really cared. And then finally, for whatever reason, entering sixth grade, I cared. So I got some like Nike flights or Nike Air flights that were noticed. Like kids would look at me walk down the hall, wonder who I was, and then they'd look at my shoes. And actually they would compliment me on my shoes, and this would actually start some conversations because I had a hard time starting conversations with strangers when I was a kid, like in that middle school age, and to this day that's still the case. So the shoes were kind of like an icebreaker. But eventually I started making new friends, and my friends would come over to my house. And they'd come over to the house and they're like, man, this house is huge. And this might sound weird at the time, but like I just didn't get it. Like I didn't know that like vaulted ceilings were like the higher echelon of housing. I don't know. Like I didn't realize at the time, but our house was very nice. It was a 4-bedroom house. It had like a family room down in the basement, but then our living room, my parents called it a great room. Like it had these big vaulted ceilings and a fireplace and this huge mirror over the fireplace, and there was a formal dining room and a dining room and a big kitchen and screened in porch and 2-stall garage, a master bedroom and bathroom with a walk-in closet. It was a very nice home, but I just didn't really know that. And so my friends are coming over and they're making comments about the house, and then I'm going to their house and I'm like, oh, like I totally see what you mean, because my like childhood home was just a 3-bedroom ranch, but I guess it was a pretty decent sized one because I don't know, the houses in these smaller rural communities just weren't quite as big, I guess. Like My one new friend that I made in 6th grade, we were in every class together but one. And he had commented about how big my house was. And I had already invited him over, and then he invited me over. So then I see his house, and I'm like, oh yeah, like our great room is as big as your living room and your dining room and your kitchen, like all combined. And I don't know, I just didn't get it. But it really sucked because my friends, you know, if they would like make little digs at me, you know, and about my parents being rich, and their parents would make comments about me being some spoiled rich kid, which I don't really think was the case. Like, it seems like finances got a little bit tighter after we moved into that house. I know that first Christmas that we moved in, I mostly just got toys. And there was definitely a lot less presents when I was in 6th grade than when I was in 5th grade. 5th grade was like a huge Christmas. And 6th grade wasn't. Like, it was still great, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not complaining. It was still great, but I remember there being less presents. And then as time went on, our presents got more expensive, so there was less of them. But it just felt overall like money was tighter. So people look at this house and they think I'm some rich kid, and I'm not. And all of my friends were like solid middle class families. You know, some of them lived in mobile homes. A lot of them lived in 3-bedroom ranch style house with 1.5 baths and a 1-stall attached garage. One of my good friends, he became like a best friend, like late middle school, like 8th grade, but very much into high school. Became my best friend, and they live in an old farmhouse. No air conditioning, like the heat was those metal radiators, you know, up against the walls. That was what was used to heat the house. That farmhouse must have been 75, 100 years old. I don't know. But the majority of my friends own, you know, your average house, and we didn't. So, and going to this new school, it was really weird. It was almost like entering a different world. Like in kindergarten, all of the really active kids, we all wore sweatpants. So like all of us at recess would run around and go crazy and play kickball or soccer or football or basketball or whatever. Us really active kids would all wear sweatpants. And sometimes they would get ripped and we'd still wear them. And I remember the first time I wore sweatpants to that new school, they're like, why are you wearing sweatpants? Like, that is so weird. So I had to start doing things differently. Like, things that were normal at my elementary school were all of a sudden not normal at my middle school. Like, going to that school, everybody was about wearing Guess jeans and hypercolor t-shirts. And I don't know, it really felt like a totally different place. And 6th grade, there was like one kid that was kind of a jerk, but I really didn't experience bullying until 7th grade. This one kid, we were friendly with, you know, we weren't really friends, but we were polite to each other in 6th grade. Like, we didn't have any issues, you know. We would talk and stuff like that. And whatever happened, all of a sudden in 7th grade, he decided that he was going to bully me starting in 7th grade, and that lasted all the way through high school. Like, I don't know what happened, but he just became a real jerk. And I really liked him in 6th grade, but man, I didn't like him anymore. He just would always bully me. And he was there was like 2 kids that would bully me, but he was the one that mainly would bully me. For whatever reason, it seemed like we were always in classes together in middle school, not so much in high school. One of the downsides to moving to this new house and this new school district is that all of my friends mostly lived in small rural towns. And this housing development was basically in the middle of a cornfield, and it had 2-lane highway around it. So I wasn't able to ride my bike anymore. Like, my parents really didn't like me riding my bike on the 2-lane highway anyways, because people are going 45, 55 miles an hour. And that street that I lived on, it was a really long street, and then it had like 2 little streets that came off of it. And I could only ride that so much before I got bored with the scenery. And then if I went on the highway, all I was looking at was cornfields. And so it wasn't very interesting. And if I wanted to go to my friend's house, I couldn't ride my bike over there anymore. I always had to rely on my parents or their parents to get a ride over there. So I quickly lost interest in riding my bike. So I only rode my bike for like 2 years, which is kind of a bummer because the time that I did spend riding it, I really enjoyed it. And then we got out there and it just really wasn't conducive to riding a bicycle. But I really associate moving into this house with getting a Super Nintendo. I was saving up all the money from my allowance, my birthday money, my Christmas money, because I really wanted a Super Nintendo. Like, my local paper did an article on the launch of the Super Nintendo, and I saved that thing. And I would reread the article over and over. I kept it in my bedroom. And for whatever reason, I wanted this thing to be mine. Like, not mine and my brother's, mine. So I'm saving up all my money. I had like 150 bucks. And like a week, 2 weeks after my brother's birthday, we ended up getting the Super Nintendo because he said, hey, I want a Super Nintendo too. Let's just split the cost and get one. And I'm like, okay, because I wanted one so bad. I'm just like, all right, whatever. Now I got money for an extra game at some point. So we move into this house Labor Day weekend of 91, and May 9th of 1992, we get our Super Nintendo. And the only reason I can remember what day this was that they actually put a sticker on the box. I still have the box to my Super Nintendo. We got it at Toys R Us, and I don't know if this was a normal thing that they did, but you can see they put that sticker on there with, call Nintendo if you have issues, blah, 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 and then they dated it. So it's kind of cool. I actually know what day I got my Super Nintendo, and that was a Saturday. I was curious, so I looked it up. So I mentioned in a previous video that there's basically 2 items from my video game collection as a kid that I still own, and this is one of them. This is my actual original Super Nintendo. It's got the nice, lovely, discolored base on it. It does not work anymore, unfortunately, so this is not the Super Nintendo that we'll be playing games on, but there's no way I can part with this thing. As a kid, I couldn't part with it either. We always had to sell old stuff to get new stuff. And like, I sold my 8-bit Nintendo and games. I sold all the games for this thing to get new stuff, but I could not part with the Super Nintendo. I loved it. I still love it. It might be my favorite system. I don't know. It seems like what kind of the mood I'm in. It depends on what my favorite system is, but this is probably definitely a contender for that. I couldn't part with this thing, and at some point through moving, we lost the controllers and the cables. So my first purchase on eBay was a Super Nintendo just to get the controllers and cables. But I love this little system. I might at some point change the internals out and, and just put the shell on a new system, because there's no way I can get rid of this thing. And then obviously the game that we're going to be playing is Super Mario World, and I've got 2 copies of it only because one is an early release and one is a later release. So this copy is the early release where the text is all in a line up at the top of the cartridge. And then on the top of the cartridge, the name is centered. And then the later releases look like that. And then the text is like offset to the side. So anyways, let's pop in Super Mario World and check this out. Alright guys, we are playing Super Mario World. I skipped the little intro screen that introduces you to Dinosaur World and, the story of, hey, we gotta save the princess. So we'll go in here. This is Yoshi's house. There's a little speaker block right here that you can hit, which is basically, this is teaching you how to do that, but hello, sorry I'm not home, but I have gone to rescue my friends who were captured by Bowser. Yoshi, and then he's got a little paw print, and I like the little paw print. When I was a kid and we would have Christmas at my grandfather's house, on my dad's side, my aunt would make sugar cookies. My grandpa lived on a farm, so we always had farm cats. And I was a little kid and I liked the cats. And so when my aunt would make the sugar cookies, she'd always say that they were from the cats, and there'd be like a little paw print drawn on the present. Art style of this game, I like. Some people don't necessarily like the art style, or maybe the graphics. I think the graphics look good, but I know some people are just kind of like, eh. They just don't like the way it looks. I like it. You can see these gold Yoshi coins that I'm picking up. I think each level has 4 or 5 of those. You get them all, you get a free guy. You're gonna see that this game hands out free guys like nothing. So there's these blocks right here that I can't go through, but you can do a spin jump and then you can break them. And we go down into our underground area. I like the look of the underground area, like the little sparkles in the back, like gems or whatever that would be in the stone. I don't really care for the music. I really like the underground level music from the very first Super Mario Brothers. We get shot out of there like a cannon, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but there's yellow dashed lines that form the shape of a block right there. We'll eventually get to a switch palace where we go into the palace and we hit this big, huge switch, and that will fill in whatever respective color of block that it is, whether it's yellow or green, red. As you can see right there, whoa, like there's outlines there in those pits. So those blocks will just, they'll fill in pits, or they'll allow you to access areas of the map that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, which does give some replayability to the game, which is kind of cool. So we got our 5th Yoshi coin, and we got a free guy. I like these turtle guys that are like sports themed. The football guy will charge at you, the baseball one will throw baseballs at you. I don't know if there's any others other than those two, but they're cool. And you see the map change, like those hills kind of grew on the left side of the screen. So one thing I really liked about this game was how the map changes as you progress along. So this is a yellow switch palace. So we go in here, and the P block makes a return. We hit this, and here's a way that the game is just going to hand out some free guys to us. Oh. Okay, I did get 10 guys. Let's say usually I have 10 guys when I get to this place. So we run through here and there'll be a big old switch. Boom. And now it's just telling us that all of those yellow dashed squares will now be filled in with yellow blocks. And so they shoot out of the palace and fill in all the areas in the map. Oh, I messed this up. If you kill a whole bunch of guys in a row... Whoops. Alright, I'm really messing this up. So if you kill a whole bunch of enemies in the game in a row, you will accumulate points, and you can eventually earn another free guy. So here's where we get Yoshi for the first time. I really liked Yoshi. I thought he was a great addition to the game. It just gives you something new to do. You know, it's just a new gameplay mechanic. He can swallow a turtle and hold it in his mouth, as you can see there. Not indefinitely. Eventually, you'll see his throat will like throb like he's trying to swallow. But the red turtles. Ooh. The red turtles will allow him to shoot fireballs like you saw there. The green ones just shoot out. You know, that's like the basic Koopa Troopa enemy. And then there's like these light blue shells that I don't remember what all the... There's different colors of shells, and so one I think allows Yoshi to fly, and I don't remember what the other one does. Maybe it gives you like all the powers? It's been a while since I played this game. As you can see right there, the yellow blocks filled in that pit. And, oh, I forgot about that. Apparently you eat enough fruit and Yoshi poops out a mushroom. So here's our P-switch, here's our football turtle guy. This should be the end, because I'm pretty sure that, yeah. So we broke that line right there that's going up and down, and we get 29 star points, which are displayed in the upper part of the screen in the center, just to the left of that mushroom that's there. And when that reaches 100, we'll be able to go to a bonus stage, so the game can hand out even more free guys. There's a yellow block. You can see it filled in this area right here, so it makes it a little easier. I think if you hit those like midpoint checkpoints, if you're small, you will, you know, become Super Mario or whatever. You'll get to your bigger form. I don't know what the significance is of that. You saw that block was green and it had a star on it. I don't know if there's something special about it. There's some sort of significance to it. So it looks like I missed one of the Yoshi coins because I only have 4, but that's fine. Okay, this level's kind of interesting in that, oh, I don't want to pick that up because it'll replace, it'll replace the fire flower. Oh, I guess it wouldn't matter because I just would have got another one. This level's interesting in that it's, you know, you had those, the tree levels from the first Mario Brothers, and this is kind of like the bottom of that level. Like here's the, you know, there's like the base of one of those big trees, which is kind of cool. As you can see, a benefit to having Yoshi in this level is that those spiked balls do no damage to him. And there we go. So you'll be able to see a bonus stage now. So these you want to match them so that they're all fire flowers, and this, it's really about timing, which I apparently don't have. It just seemed like you know, if you time your jumps right, you can continually hit the right thing. And I forget, does it give you like 9 1-ups if you get all those? This game, this is the first Mario Brothers game that I beat, and I think it's pretty easy to see why, because this game hands out free guys like nothing. It's just insane. So we are at our first castle. We get this nice little intro screen where we dismount from Yoshi. And they let us in for some reason. Why would one of the Koopa kids let us into the castle? I mean, you know, we're on our 4th Mario Brothers game, and you know, Bowser's track record is not all that great. Oops. So this was a new mechanic with climbing these fences. Also showed the graphical capability of the Super Nintendo. I can remember seeing this and thinking, wow, look at that, that's so cool. Like, you can climb the fence, and then this part was really neat. So you get to this door and you punch it, and now you can flip to the other side. This blew my mind when I was a kid. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but as I kill these guys, I'm getting more points, and that you can hear that audio tone is changing. And there we go. Got a free guy. I really like the music in these castle levels. I think I don't know, orchestra music it's very foreboding. Oh man, was this okay? Oh boy, oh! The music is very foreboding. And now we get to our first Koopaline. So we have to hit him in the lava. Yeah, I was afraid that was going to happen, but... Alright, there we go. And the cool thing is once you complete a castle, Mario destroys it, and he does it a different way each world. So it's always really cool to see how he's going to destroy the castle. Looks like we're going to blow it up. That's cool. And so we move on to the next area. This is also the first level, I believe, where we get that cape. Whoops. So the other power-up item in this game is a feather, which will allow you to fly. You get a cape. The cape mechanics... Ooh. The cape mechanics were a little weird the first time I played because you can float. Like, you go airborne and then you can... I'll try to do it. You can hold your cape and you can just float. And it's a little weird. As you can see here, had we not gotten our yellow switch palace, we couldn't access this pipe. Oh, we get a bonus game. We can get even more free guys. Oh! That's not too bad. Alright, we're at 85 coins, so let's just... Usually I don't really care about coins. You know, I pick them up, obviously, so I can get free guys, but since we're almost to 100... Oh, dang. As you can see, one of the nice things about Yoshi is that it gives you another free hit. I'll take that guy out that way. Right here, you can see, well, if you can see it, all those green squares. So once we get to the green palace and we fill this in, if we run and we hit this little red angular ramp-looking thing with a smiley face on it, whenever you run up against that thing, you will transition to whatever wall, usually vertical, and you will just run straight up the wall. So that's a hidden area, basically, that we can't access yet until we get to the Green Switch Palace. Yeah. Oh, there's Yoshi. Looks like here's our first dedicated underground level. It was kind of interesting. On the map, it looked like it was a volcano. The environmental puzzles in this game I found to be very cool. Oh, that was a bad idea. With the moving blocks going up and down, or as we get into, I think it's the castle in this world, it has blocks that move like right and left from side to side. This stuff was pretty amazing, you know, back in 1992 when I first played this game. The first time I actually played this game was at a demo kiosk in Target. Like I said, we didn't get our Super Nintendo until May of '92. So we typically shopped at Target, and of course, whenever we went there, I was always headed to the electronics store to see if there was anybody at the kiosk. And if there wasn't, I was going to play me some Super Nintendo. I don't know why those bird guys kind of remind me of those enemies in the first Metroid game. Like the ones that are on the ceiling and then they come down and strike you. I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, how far does this go down? Okay, good. Our fourth Yoshi coin. I didn't even notice till now this background's different from the other one. It's just dark back there with, I don't know what that is. They almost look like clouds. And here's our final Yoshi coin. Another free guy, we're up to 24. Here's a new enemy type. And the end. Okay, so here's the ghost house. These levels are really cool. So you get an intro screen kind of like the castle, and I really like the transparent fog and the spooky music. These are really cool. And then when we get in here, all the ghosts. Like, this is so cool. You know, it's a ghost house that is, whoa, that is very populated with ghosts. And some of them have goofy faces and whatnot. That's really cool. You can see they will, if you look at them, they will not come towards you. And if you have your back to them, they'll come at you. So there's a P block. And the thing with the ghost houses is there's always like a secret way to get out of here. So like it shows you the arrow right there, and you can go into this door and come into this room. And, oh, that's interesting. The music stopped as soon as the coins hit the wall. So there's a secret way to get out of here, and you gotta figure it out. So if I remember right, we come down here, grab the P block, we go back through this door, we'll lose the P block, and then, yeah, the vine comes out. And we made it to the end of the level. Like I was talking about the map changing, like that's really cool. Like that whole like river thing splits open and there's a bridge there. I don't know, I just find that to be cool. So it looks like we're on the top of our big trees again. As you saw there was a different colored, whoa. There was a different colored Koopa Troopa right there. And I don't know what that would have done for Yoshi, like what power-up he would have gotten. If you knock a Koopa Troopa out of their shell and then you hold on to it and they get back up and you throw it at them, they'll catch it and they'll throw it back at you. This should be a feather, yep. I'll go for a ride. Go down in here. Oh, some more free guys. I can remember... Ooh, middle? I can remember times as a kid where I would jump and I'd miss the block. Like I'd be hitting the third block out of the 3, and I'd miss it, and I'd go up to the next level, you know, and so I missed my opportunity to get a free guy. That always bugged me. Okay, here's a different turtle that, as you can see, he's multicolored. I wonder if Yoshi eats that, like if you get all of his power-ups combined. Here's the Hammer Brothers. Oh, so here's this block that I was talking about. So you just transition vertically. I messed that up. I should have been able to kill all those guys and get another free guy. Oh well, I am in no need of free guys. Yoshi again. Yoshi was a fun addition to the Mario games. It just added another level of play, but I did miss the suits from Super Mario Bros. 3. I really enjoyed the different powers of the suits, and that goes away. As you can see, this block is changing, so we'll wait until that feather comes back up, and then hopefully, yes, we'll get the star. Well, had I timed it right, I could have got a free guy there too. Dang it, back here. Uh-oh. Time to hurry up. Pretty sure the end of the level's right here, I believe. Yep. Alright, we'll get another bonus stage. Okay, mushrooms. Whoops. Well, I messed that all up. I seem to remember, like, if you position Mario in just the right spot, you could jump and always get what you wanted. I don't remember. I'm gonna skip that screen since we've already seen it, and we get baby thwomps. I like the thwomp enemies. How when they come down to crush you, well, you'll see it because there's more up here, but when they come down to crush you, they get their mean face. of dry bones, just like the old dry bones. If you jump on him, he turns into a pile of bones and then he reanimates. And so here's the blocks I was talking about, the ones that come out from the side. I don't know, I just find this to be very fun. I'm usually trying to race my way through, you know, and like cut it tight, you know, which sometimes results in me getting crushed. But it just adds to the excitement of the game. It's like, oh man, can I get up there and make this? Whoops. Oh boy. Yeah, it's kind of like it's the race. So you can pick up these springboards and you could go over to the other side and get the coins. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to proceed on. Little blocks that come out of here that will lift us up. Take out the dry bones. And we are here. I think, was this Morton's castle? This one's easy. These walls come down. He just runs up the walls and then runs along the ceiling and tries to crush you. You know, so you just jump on him, wait on one side, run across. He'll drop down. Oops. And then he'll stun you there, as you saw. If you jump, you can avoid the stun. Whoops. He gets faster each time. And there we go. And now we get to see how Mario destroys the castle. Kind of like a drop kick. Maybe a missile drop kick. Okay guys, so I don't really see any point in going on any further. We've seen, you know, 2 of the castles and the ghost house and pretty much everything I wanted to show you. For the longest time, this has been my favorite Mario Brothers game, but as I get older and I replay Super Mario Brothers 3, I really like that one. I really like both of these games. I don't know if I could pick which one I actually like more than the other. They're both very, very good, and I was a Nintendo kid. When I heard about the Super Nintendo, I was like, oh yes, I want this. A new Mario Brothers game, I want it. And this game didn't disappoint me. Really enjoyed it as a kid, still enjoy it as an adult to this day. Anyways guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.